Hello, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Today I'm going to be unboxing the smallrig ad-120. It is a pretty expensive tripod, my first ever expensive tripod. I'm a budget-friendly man, so I like my budget-friendly stuff, and this is not... I mean, it's budget-friendly in terms of what you could get for more money. This is like, it's solid. It's a solid option below that. Because the most professional tripod you can get is like $5,000. So this being $800 is pretty good. First impressions, it's a lot heavier than I expected in a good way. I like the weight on it. It kind of makes me feel like, oh yeah, this can hold my tripod. I mean, this can hold my camera, and I love that. You know, coming from photography tripods, like you're gonna see what I was using in a bit. And it just couldn't hold my camera, so this is why I had to get this one. You get two interchangeable feet, one spiked and one flat for different terrains, and it's just nice to know you kind of have those options, and you have that security for whenever you're out and about. You get handles on each leg for ease of carrying usage, which I thought was amazing because tripods can be pretty annoying to hold. And this is like my first initial impression trying to unlock these legs. I don't really understand why these leg locks are so stiff. Maybe it's purposeful, I would imagine so, considering what this tripod is meant to carry. I just didn't really like the fact that I didn't know when I locked this tripod and just how stiff it was to unlock. But again, not that big of a deal. You get the mid-level spreader, the ground level spreader in the box, and you get this pan and tilt handle. All great. These are all new things to me because, again, I'm going to show you in a second what I used to use for like 5 years. Just a standard old photography tripod that doesn't have pan or tilt because, you know, you usually just lock off your camera and you just film. Because I usually film myself. I don't really have crews when I'm filming. So pan and tilt was just not really an option for me or something I considered. You can adjust this handle to your length, to your liking, depending on how you operate. It's pretty cool. Again, it's cool. You know, having the option to pan and tilt is amazing. I love that. And yeah. So here we have the not the ground level spreader. We have the mid-level spreader. Very pretty. I like this. New to me. I never used this before. Excuse me. And yeah. So here you can see me putting it on. If you're new to sort of pro tripods, it's pretty simple to. I mean, this is not. I don't feel like this is a pro tripod thing, but this is my first time ever having something like this, and it was pretty easy to set up. So I appreciated it. You just pull down those levers you saw and pop it in. But now I'm going to show you what I used to use. I bought a new fluid head for this tripod to go the budget-friendly route, but I quickly realized the fluid head is only like part of the problem or the solution. These legs just will not support the weight of my camera, but I really do like here the locking mechanism. As you can see, it just like pops. You can tell when you lock and unlock it. And on this tripod, it's just a lot more effort, which is like, okay, I get it. I think it makes sense, but it's also like, I kind of wish I could use less effort to lock and unlock this thing. So here's my first time adjusting the tripod on my own with no camera on the tripod. And again, these locks they're interesting. As you can see here, I'm gonna lock the tripod. And I'm not sure here if I actually lock the leg. I have to kind of like make sure, which again, I'm not really a huge fan of, but I think it's purposeful. The fact that I can also adjust the level of the locking mechanism so I don't have to bend down all the time to unlock and lock, I think is awesome. But again, those locks they're interesting. They're new, and it's not that big of a deal, but that just caught me a little by surprise. They were just a lot stiffer than I imagined. But here I'm gonna adjust the camera tripod to max to its max height, or what I believe to be its max height. I am 5'10" for reference, so I was really pleasantly surprised by how high this tripod got. I really do enjoy that. I think most people buy tripods for how low they can go. That's why I bought my first tripod, for the fact that it could go very low to the ground. But having a tripod that can go this high is also amazing. And it's also why I got this version, because it has a ground level spreader. Most tripods at this price point, or lower than this price point, will not get you very low to the ground. I think the minimum I saw was like 3 feet. That can do all these things that this tripod can. And yeah, here's the first time me trying to put my camera on the tripod head. It was again, I'm gonna put this on me as a user error, but it was a lot harder to put my camera on this tripod than I expected, considering my other tripod that I just showed. I don't really have this issue. I can just pop my tripod on and just get it rolling. But this one, it feels like it requires a bit more precision, or maybe I'm just stupid again. I don't know. Here you can see me adjusting the stepless drag panning system, and my first impression of that was I love it. I love the fact that I can do this in general, and I could just toss my camera around. But I don't really ever know when I'm adjusting my drag accurately. So that's another thing that I was kind of like, I kind of wish this was a bit more easier to read. But yeah, it holds my rig, which is amazing. It's what I got it for. But I feel like it's not much of a sort of thing to sort of hooray about, because I could have got a cheaper tripod that held my camera. It's just the fact that this has counterbalanced, tilt, and pan drag. I love it. As you can see here, I'm doing the tilt drag now. Again, don't really know when I am adjusting at what level. It's like it shows you a symbol of where tight is and where loose is, but I never really know when I'm where. So I kind of wish that was a bit more precise, or like easier to read. Here's the sort of quick release on the tripod, which I thought it's amazing. Being able to do this, I don't know why it's so much easier. I mean, I guess it's because I can see a lot clearer, but when I had the camera in my hand, it was pretty hard. You get DJI's plate quick release and a standard quick release, which is amazing. So you can just pop this off if you're gonna do gimbal work after, and just slide it into your DJI RS2, RS3, and it's amazing. Here, just a little bit of B-roll. Again, this tripod is very pretty, and I love it. I love the fact that it holds my rig. I love the fact that I can pan, tilt, drag, adjust it one level. The counterbalance system, this is probably my favorite part. I'm a clumsy person, so having that is amazing. And again, here you can see which way to turn for tightening and loosening. I just don't understand when I am where, and I just wish that was a bit more clear at this price point. I just wish it was more clear. I think this is purposeful, but I kind of wish it was like this counterbalance system, where you get numbers, it clicks, you know when you're where, and it does its job. But again, not that big of a deal. Something I also noticed was the locking mechanisms on the pan and tilt were a lot easier to unlock than I expected. They're kind of like the opposite of the legs, in which they're not stiff at all. They're pretty easy to unlock and lock, which I guess makes sense because you probably adjust those more often. But as you can see here, I unlocked it, I adjusted it. Now I'm like, okay, I want to loosen this a bit. I'm loosening it, I'm adjusting to sort of my liking, seeing if I like that, adjusting. Now I'm gonna lock the tilt axis and try and move it, and it still moves, which I maybe I'm stupid and that's supposed to happen. I just didn't expect it. It's not like when I have my camera on this tripod and I lock it that it moves at all. Like it doesn't move, but the fact that I can still move it fairly easily is not, I'm not that huge of a fan of that, if I'm being honest. But again, here is the counterbalance system. I think it's beautiful. I think that's probably my favorite part of this tripod. As you can see at 6, it's pretty snappy. It just it's good for someone like me who really would not like my camera to fall off my tripod, and has had that happen almost quite a few times. So yeah, just having that extra safety and ability to have that counterbalance system is amazing. I believe other tripods also have this, but you just can't adjust the levels on it. But yeah, those are sort of my first impressions of this tripod. At this price range, I'm very happy with it. I just kind of, I don't know, there's some unexpected sort of quirks with it. But for the money, do I think it's worth? I don't know. I feel like you could get a cheaper tripod if you're not worried about pan and tilt and drag and all that stuff, and be satisfied. But it also depends on what kind of work you do and what you need the tripod for. Again, I think this tripod is great. I didn't really get to touch on the sort of ball head mechanism for leveling, because I think it is important to note that the legs can often be not at the same height with this one-step level, and then you get the sort of ball head mechanism to level it out, and I think that's great. But yeah, I'm probably gonna do a bit more in-depth stuff with this tripod later on, but I just wanted to give my first impressions and sort of tell you a bit more about what I thought. But yeah, I think it's a great tripod. I have no real issues with the tripod. I just wish it was a bit quicker and less stiff, but it does the job, so it's hard to complain. But those are just my first impressions. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'm probably gonna do like a comparison or a bit more videos on some of the stuff I got, and if you're interested in that, I'd love to have you. Not in that way, like just have you watch the videos if you're interested. Anyway, again, my name is Daquan. It's nice to have you guys here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.